Hi everyone, it's great to see you again. And if you are new to the channel, my name is Bill Benoist, and I'm all about embracing retirement with purpose, passion, and new beginnings. I've often talked about how this YouTube channel is my purpose. That's what gets me up in the morning. I love doing these videos, and this channel is probably also what got me interested again in my photography. I've talked about this in the past where back in 1979, yes, I'm dating myself, I graduated from a junior college with a degree in photojournalism. Had to do the photojournalism to get to the photography. If it would just have been photography, that would have been the degree itself. And then life happened and I went in a different direction. I put that camera in the closet and I just spent the next 40 plus years following a career all the way up into technology when I left that in 2015. But when I started this YouTube channel, it required me to get a camera where I could start videotaping myself and learning the ins and outs of that. And that really got me interested back into photography. I was like, I have this degree from many years ago, and I have this really cool camera that I'm using as a video. How about if I take it out and start shooting with it? And that's what happened. This started a few years back. I think I started this YouTube channel. Now, mind you, I have done several different YouTube channels. This particular one, I think I started in 2022 or 2023. But I actually started on YouTube back in 2016, and those channels are no longer existing. But when I did that, and I was doing the videos for career coaching, I was doing the career coaching after I left my position as a vice president in information services. I had recently did a master's degree in leadership, and one of the classes that I took was on executive coaching, and that just really sparked my interest in coaching. And after a while, I gave 90 days notice at my job, and I took a coaching business full time. And what happened was I started doing videos. And by the way, all of those videos are still up on this channel. You can check them out. If you're interested in looking for videos on resumes or LinkedIn or interviewing or job search strategy, they're out there. But anyway, I'm going off in a different direction there. So I just want to get back on track. I took the camera that I was using with making these videos and I started taking some photos. All of a sudden, that interest in photography from back in the late 1970s, early 80s really took hold, and I just started getting more and more into it. Over those years, I've actually upgraded several different cameras. What's funny is that my video camera right now graded once. It's a Sony ZV-E10, but I had a Canon, then I went with a Sony, and now I'm using my Fuji, and I love the Fuji. But one of the things that I've also been doing with this photography is participating in a lot of meetup groups. And one of these meetup groups, shutterroby.com, and I'm going to leave a link to this in the notes section below because I love to be able to endorse this meetup group. It is so much fun. A guy named John, he runs this group, and he does these meetups about 45 minutes every single day. And if you miss one of them, they're all recorded, so you can go back and check that out. And then he also does something on Saturdays, so he called a camera and coffee, where the videos are turned on and the mic's turned on, and we all just participate. It's just a hell of a lot of fun. And I've met some really cool people. But in participating in these meetups, I'm starting to realize that there are a lot of photographers in these groups that are actually making some money. And I really, when I retired, I thought, okay, I make a little bit of money off of this YouTube channel, but I think that for the most part, I'm done trying to go out there and start a business. I just ended the coaching business in January 2025, but I keep thinking about how easy it would be for me to start a photography business. And so I started doing some research with this. I'll tell you, I'm still uncertain whether I'm going to go down this path or not. You'll just have to wait and see. But I did want to share some of the findings. If this is something that maybe you're considering, let's say you're into photography like I am, or maybe you're thinking about starting a side hustle and photography is not out of the question, let me share a couple of things with you. Number one, I think photography is something has a very quick learning curve, but you just keep practicing and you just keep getting better and better. I can attest to this because I actually been working with my daughter, an adult, sharing with her the ways to go about doing photography. And she's really started from scratch and she's really doing a good job right now. So maybe this is something that you would like to do. Hey, it's a great hobby. And one of the things is that I think is probably one of the most important is that your age is not going to be an obstacle by any means. In fact, I think it's going to be an advantage. So let me give you an example. Let's say that you want to become an event photographer. You want to start taking photos of maybe the events like graduation or birthday parties or retirement parties out there. Individuals are going to trust an older person, a more mature person than somebody that's younger because it's an intimate setting and your calmness will really go a long way with this. And one of the best ways to get started would be probably to just start doing, and you could either do it for free or you could do it for a discounted session. It's something that maybe you could just start doing this for family and friends, and they will then spread the word. It's an easy way to make anywhere from $75 to $300. That's about the going price range there. And something that I've also talked about in previous videos regarding side hustles is that the average individual in retirement is making right around $500 to $600 a month, supplementing the income. So if you think doing $75 to $300 an hour, you can easily make that in just a few hours' time. So another one is, and this one really floored me with how much that you can make. And I learned this actually from the meetup. A couple of guys are doing this. I'd say guys, but a couple of women, men and women have been doing this. And it's stock photography. I'm talking about like submitting photos to Getty Images or Adobe Stock or iStock. There's many of them out there. And this is something where it can really grow into a nice little revenue stream. And I know that when I was talking with one of the members on the Shutter Rate meetup, he was doing right around $1,000, $1,100 a month on this. Now, this is not something that's going to happen overnight, but the more that you work at it, and I actually asked this individual how many photos that he submits in a week, and he says he submits about 15 a day. But he has it really down to a system where it's not taking a long time. And these could be even older photos out there. And so what he's making right now is between $1,000 and $1,100 a month. I think probably realistically, he's been doing it for a long time, but I think you could easily get up to right around $500 or $600 a month with just putting some effort into it. Another one is some workshops and classes, and I'm also going to say photo walks on this. This is something that's interesting. Here in the Bay Area, I've been looking at photo walks, and I have not been able to find a photo walk whatsoever. They all seem to charge around $40 to $60, not an hour, but for the walk. The walk could be maybe 1 or 2 hours, and you're meeting someplace in a general area. Think about this, 4 or 5 people that are joining these walks and maybe $40 per person. You really don't have much overhead at all. The other one is just doing workshop and classes. This is also something that I have noticed as I have been getting more and more into photography. I'll follow people on Instagram and stuff, and then I'll look at their websites. So many of them have workshops. They have classes. They either have them online or maybe in person. I've actually taken a couple of these as well, and I've gotten a lot out of it. Now, those prices could be all over the place. So I'll give you an example. I don't know how the cost of living is in the UK, but I'm paying 35 pounds for an hour with one person. And I think that's coming out close to about $45 in US currency there. And by the way, that was an hour of one-on-one training. And I know tutorial training can be a lot more expensive than that. It's also a way that you can make some money out there. Here's a cool one, and that's real estate photography. And again, when I was in my working as a VP in information services, the company that I was doing that for was a commercial real estate company. And I can tell you, those guys use photographers, but it's not only just commercial real estate, residential real estate. Think about this. Anytime you go to Zillow or one of those sites where you can take a look at homes on sale, you see all the photographs there. And that's not being done most of the time by the real estate agent. They've got a photographer working that, and that could be some income as well, a monthly basis. In fact, from what I have talked with individuals that do this, runs around $125 to $200 per property. Again, just a couple of properties, and it's a nice little supplemental income. And I know this is an offbeat one, but it would be specialized in personal history and legacies. Now, this is a unique niche. And again, I think age is going to work for you, but it's where you're going to be able to document a person's life and sitting them down and getting to know them and really creating a story behind that. Now, I do think that's going to take a bit of marketing to get known out there. I think one of the ways that you could do that is senior living communities, just getting some business cards. So I know that's a very unique niche, but it will bring in between $300 and $600 a session. And these sessions usually will go maybe 2 to 3 hours. So there's also another one that I've been thinking about, and that is doing corporate headshot. That's one that I think can definitely make you some money. And one of the things that you can do is, as empty nesters, again, the age advantage here, I think we all have empty bedrooms, and you take one of those bedrooms and create a studio in it and start doing corporate headshots or any other kind of portrait photography. It could be people, or it could even be pets. I did that. I did pets when I was back in my college days. That was one of the ways that I made money. But I got to tell you, corporate headshots, I remember about 25 years ago when I was made a vice president, I had to go get a corporate headshot. And that was the headshot I used many years for my LinkedIn profile and any kind of publications that went out there. I think at that time, now I didn't have to pay for it, the company paid for it, but I think at that time it was around $350, $400. That was like 25 years ago. So you can make just 1 or 2 sessions, you could make a lot of money each month on that. So there you go. Some ideas that you can use to maybe monetize a photography business. And really, it's not going to be that difficult. Everything takes a little bit of work, but this could be a fun job. Hope you found this useful. And if you haven't done so already, please make sure that you subscribe to this channel, hit the bell notification, as I do upload new videos each week, and I'd hate for you to miss one. Take care, and I look forward to seeing you next week.